Evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. And smash that like button right meow. You know you're gonna have a good time. Set that there. While I'm getting my screen set up, I just want to say that I'm sure this applies to every platform, but I go live on YouTube, so this is what I unfortunately know the most about. I've brought it up before that it doesn't matter if you are a channel owner or a chatter. Doesn't matter if you have a membership. All of the Google policies apply to every single last one of us. So if you see someone who is violating the policies of Google, which Google owns YouTube, you don't have to put up with that. Example, you see somebody being harassed or doxxed, or if you see excessive spamming, the first step is to let the channel owner know what is going on. They might not be aware of it. Not everyone watches their chat room as much as I do. Maybe they're a bigger show. They just don't have that kind of time. That's okay. So if you see that kind of thing, let them know what's going on. Best thing you can do is take a screenshot. If you can't do that, write down the person's handle, the time you saw it, maybe what they said. Send a DM or an email to the channel owner, like, hey, I saw this happen. I don't think this is cool. I know it's against policy. I just want to let you know this is going on, and I'm not cool with it, and that's really all you have to say. To just give them a heads up, and that should be the end of it. But if it happens, 2, 3 more times, that's when you can just go to that little. There's next to everybody's name, there's 3 dots way off to the side. You just tap that, and you can go to the flag that says report, and you can report what you're seeing. And that's anonymous. That's your name does not get passed along to the channel owner. They just know that if they find out at all, they just find out that it's been reported on. So that's what you can do. If you do want to block somebody, make sure you report what's going on first, and then you can block them. That's no hassle. But we're all in this together. If you see it, everybody else can see it, and it doesn't look good for the channel. Frankly, if people are violating policies, then that can get the channel in trouble. So clearly, whoever is breaking the rules doesn't care about the channel that they're on, and we don't want to see anybody's channel get in trouble. So if you see that going on, let the channel owner know. If it doesn't stop, report it. If it gets that excessive, you can even report the channel. There's a little flag report button on everybody's channel if they're violating any of the policies. That makes it not safe for you, me, anybody who comes after us if a few bad apples are spoiling the bunch. I'll put it that way. That's what I did put out a tweet and a post about that earlier in the week, just so people know that there's really not a whole lot of rules you have to follow on YouTube, so it's really easy to just be an adult and act that way online, but some people don't, and again, you don't have to put up with it. That's not good for you. It's not good for me. It's not good for the channel. That can just, it's just bad for, somebody acts up too many times, too many reports come in, suddenly the channel's in trouble. That's not good. Nobody wants that, but you have to do what you have to do. So that option is there. Please use it if you see that kind of thing going on. Certainly nobody wants to think that a channel owner wants to let a few people do things that can get their channel in trouble because they care more about letting somebody be harassed than they do about the enjoyment of everybody watching. But if that's the case, speak up, say something, and that should get it to stop. That's the only way to do it. All those reports do go to YouTube, and again, they are anonymous. You're not going to get in trouble for that, but if you see it going on again, take a screenshot, let the channel owner know, and we're all adults. It shouldn't happen more than once, but if it does, please do report it. Everyone is service by looking out for each other by doing that. So I do want to say what's up to One to Go To and Swanee and NT. One to Go To says howdy. Swanee, Google owns YouTube. I never would have thought. Yeah, it's wow. Google even owns like they bought or YouTube bought MGM. That's probably why it's so hard to find the Judy Garland show on the platform anymore. But NT says, hey Nikki, still here to support you. Yeah, thank you. Swanee, the fuck did I miss? Yeah, it's just been a stupid ass kind of week. Like I don't have enough going on with the move and other stuff. It just you know, a few bad apples want to try to spoil the bunch and just try to get another channel in trouble by the way they're acting. So again, like I say, if you see that stuff happening, let the channel owner know, because they might not be aware of it. Screenshots are the best thing to take so you can prove what's happening, but if it doesn't stop, that's what the report button is there for. And if you've done as much as you can by letting the channel owner know. You don't have to say, hey, I reported this, or nothing like that. Once you let them know what's going on and send up screenshots, that's all you have to do. That's all the contact you need to have with them. After that, that's why the report button's there. NT, the problem is anyone can send reports, and does not mean it's credible as well. That's why it's good to let the channel owner know first, so maybe you won't have to send a report, because, again, we're all adults, and people should not be acting in a way that violates policy. It's like if you're driving with your friend, and they keep running red lights and stop signs. You say something to them, you're in there in the car with them. But if it goes farther than that, you have to escalate the situation. But you're not helping anybody by just letting that fly under the radar and not saying anything about it to anyone. That means it won't stop. If it's happening in one chat room, they could be doing it in other chat rooms. And just because you block them doesn't mean it's going to stop. So please do speak up and say something. It's best for everybody. And other people see that stuff too. It's not just you and me who read chat room comments. Everybody in the room can read it. If the channel is set to have live chat replay, then people who watch it after the fact can see it, and it just makes the channel look bad if the channel owner is letting chatters violate the policies of the platform on which they upload. So you're helping everybody out by speaking up. It might not feel good, but it's also, it shouldn't be happening in the first place. And that's how you get the ball rolling to make that stop. What's up, Patrick? Glad you made it. Everybody just take it easy, chill out. What was I going to say? I think I put it down in here. I put it somewhere. I know I put it in my notes. I'll talk about something sad, then I'll talk about something good. I am so pissed off. Because I told you that Batchy went and he privated all of his videos. Oh, okay, whatever. But then I'm going through my Minecraft playlist, and I've got about 75 videos in there. And I really only started watching Minecraft videos back in May. And I go through it, and there's some missing, and it's like, oh, okay, they're just, no views. They're privated. But then I couldn't find one of my favorite videos. I'm like, wait, what the hell? What the actual fuck? And it's, some of these Minecraft YouTubers will take their long form videos or their live shows and put them on a separate channel, which is fine. That's cool. Just different audience, different channel. So I go to look around, and it's just not there. It's not anywhere, and it's one of my favorite videos. It's one of the earliest videos I watched with Swaley and Puff, and it's just gone. It's just gone. It's so depressing. It is so depressing. You want to watch something that's going to cheer you up and take your mind off of stuff and make you laugh, because it's just so ridiculous, and it's just gone forever. It's not like there was swearing in it or nudity. It's friggin' Minecraft. So I don't know why it's gone. I don't know if it's going to go up on a channel that just has the long form stuff. It just, that would happen this time of year. Oh, I've been looking for that for like 2 or 3 days. Oh my god. But as far as NT says about reports being credible, I mean, if you're reporting somebody for terrorism and they're not doing anything terroristic, oh, okay, yeah, that's not going to go anywhere. But if you see somebody in chat rooms and all they're doing is spamming, for example, or if they're doxing people by posting their not public name, that's not okay. Go ahead and report that. That's actually a button you can press. And he says, to be an old man that I'm sure no one who will care about. I'm about to re-watch Out to Sea, great movie for laughs, which we all need. I do love Nikki and what you do, but I encourage all to find that. Out to Sea. I know I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. Let me look that up real quick. Out to Sea. Out to Sea. Sea is in the ocean, not to let like sea is in to view something. Out to Sea, 1997. Oh, okay. It's got Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. That can't be bad. I don't know. Maybe that's something I have seen, but it's just been so long. But I don't think I have seen it. But those two together, that's got to be good. That's cute. I'll see something, say something. It's just speaking up. You see bad behavior, say something about it. That's otherwise, if you don't tell somebody that they're doing something wrong, people often it's like with little kids. They'll keep doing something because they think they're getting away with it, or they think that they're like their best friend is going to back them up because they want to gang up on people because they're just cowards, and they just think, if nobody says anything, maybe they don't know they're doing something wrong, as far as little kids go. But as if you got the parent or somebody who's more responsible has to say something to them, and then if they don't correct their behavior, that's when the punishment comes in. And T says, think of grumpy old men. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, something like that. That's cute. That does sound like fun. Yeah. Because it used to be back in about 2009, you could find all of the Judy Garland show on YouTube, and just at some point a few years ago, half of the episodes are gone. So it's like the Christmas episode, the last 5 or 6 episodes of the series, a few ones in between are just gone. Like one channel maybe re-uploaded the Christmas episode, and then you can find the first episode online. Mickey Rooney is the guest. It's so good. It's so good. They do medleys of all their songs. Let me check the audio. And then we will go to my own channel first. Tap on the live show. I can check it on the TV. I'll be right back over. Yeah, it's about as good as it gets. But something good that happened real quick. I got somebody was gifting memberships on Twitch yesterday. Not yesterday, Thursday. And I don't think it's random like on YouTube. I think you have to pick who it is, and they gave me a membership for another show, and I don't even know what the perks are for that. I don't know what that does, but it's like, thank you. I didn't certainly didn't ask for it, but like, wow, thank you. That was just so random, so cool. Uh, if a Genie Yankee fan comes here or sees this, like, thanks. Wow, I don't know what all that does, but thank you. That was cool. I'll consider that a birthday present. But let's get on with the show. Let me look at the recap that I wrote earlier. I sort of remember it. Yeah, so to recap the last review, Oswania gift subs for OnlyFans. Yeah, I don't. Oh, that OnlyFans is not me. They're ripping off my image. No, I don't. That's so gross. Well, but thanks for gifting subs. That's totally cool of you. I have no idea how much that costs. I don't know what the perks are. It's that's wild. Patrick says I think it depends where you live on YouTube, but here in the UK we get different films to watch. Yeah, it will randomly recommend stuff to me. It keeps recommending Death Becomes Her that I reviewed on this channel. Like I've seen it. I like it, but thanks for recommending it to me again. I guess. But yeah, to recap the last recap episode, last review anyway. So that body that they found in Laura's apartment over in Phoenix, they go to claim it, and it's just gone. There's nothing in the drawer, not a body bag, nothing. It's just vanished. So then Dr. Guthrie takes Joe to that old cemetery. They want to open up the grave of Laura Murdock Stockbridge. They do. They get the coffin out. It opens up on its own. And again, nothing inside. Not a scrap of fabric. Not nothing. It's like nothing was ever even in there. So it's okay. That's two missing bodies. Don't really like this pattern. It's kind of creepy. And we have 1,066 episodes to go. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So I was looking at the calendar after the fact. On the 7th, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that, that will be. And I did start uploading on March 4th, but I didn't do my face reveal until March 7th. Really, the only reason I couldn't do a live show on Wednesday is we go to another show on Wednesday, and I'll be right in the middle of moving. I don't know how much you'll feel like it. But with that in mind, with all of the moving going on, I don't know how achy I'm going to be. So I'm low-key thinking about, on the 7th, just doing a balcony chat. I don't know, it's kind of up in the air, but just to sort of celebrate the anniversary of me doing a face reveal and starting the channel and all that stuff. Just sort of thinking about that now. I might do it, I might not. Well, we'll see how it goes when I get through the week. But I'll definitely know more by that Thursday the 5th when I put out a tweet and a post about what's coming up for the next week. But just putting that out there now, that's what we might end up doing. Just kicking it and talking about this and that. And T says, I know I never did email you, Nikki, at your birthday, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm still going to email you sometime. Just personal problems my way is all. Still gonna bother you sometimes, so sorry. Yeah, no, that's cool. I just figure it's like it's a weekend, so sometimes you plan on doing something, and then you actually get into the weekend, and suddenly it's Monday, and it's like, oh, I forgot to do that and the other thing. So it's I don't take it personally. Life happens, I know. So that's cool. Um, I mean, like the emails staying the same, even though my address isn't. Patrick says, "I hope you found somewhere nice to move." It's well, it's quiet out there. It's sort of still on this side of town, So that's okay. It's just it just needs to be quiet out there. I'm not gonna put up with any hassle. Um, it's I don't know. It was still being like they still have to fix it up from the last people who were there. So like painting and I don't know what was wrong with it, but they got to fix it up yet still. And yeah, I'm not the type to be like filming. Here's the inside of my house. That's kind of creepy, and I know I'll be too tired for that. But yeah, I'm more concerned about keeping on with my schedule here. I'm not trying to miss Saturdays. I don't care how bad my back hurts. I just want to be able to see you guys every week. Swanee says it's a meth house. As long as they're quiet, they can break bad and blow up another part of the building on the other end. So it's just got to be done so they can move some terrorists into where I'm at. I guess I'm not enough of a pedophile drug dealer to stay here, so I gotta go. They don't like honest people out here. All right, episode 180. Well, yes, NT will still be in Ohio. Yeah, it's just sort of on the up the road towards the. Instead of being on the very edge of town, it'll be a little bit more. Well, I'll still have to deal with the traffic from the tourists, but not really because I don't drive. Oh yeah, it just needs to be quiet out there so I can go live. I'm more concerned about blocking off the windows so it's not bright. Patrick says, at least Nikki will be moving to a high house then. Yeah, I mean, they can sell drugs all they want. Just be quiet. I don't care what you're doing. Just be quiet. I'm not paying for noise. Oh, you want to be loud? I can be louder. So episode 180 aired on March 3rd, 1967. We are still in day 40. It is nighttime. And we're in the caretaker's house. They reshot this, the whole Joe thinks he smells perfume. He doesn't know what jasmine is, but he smells perfume. And then behind them, that's when the coffin opens up and the camera pans inside. We can see there's nothing in there. Totally creep. I don't know what's creepier, the fact that it opened up on its own or the fact that there's nothing in there. But the whole thing is super creepy. And T says, are you near the east end of the border of Pennsylvania at all? I get that way every now and then. I'm like the city I'm in. It's right smack dab. It's an hour to Toledo and an hour to Cleveland. It's Cedar Point. If you look up the amusement park, it's like I can see when they set off fireworks right out my window. It's right over there. So we get the tourist season and all that. So if uh actually my brother just moved like west in Ohio. I knew I was never going to see him again. And but I have been on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania when I've driven that way. But no, I'm pretty much just smack dab in the like at the top of the state on the lake, but it's in between two major cities. So everybody's there. You got Frank Garner, you got Dr. Guthrie, you've got Joe Haskell, and you've got the caretaker, and they're staring at that coffin, just empty. And the caretaker, he's as baffled by this as the rest of them. He's saying that tomb was sealed the day she was buried. Dr. Guthrie says, Josette wanted us to see this empty coffin. When he looks at the caretaker, where's Laura Murdock Radcliffe buried? Caretaker, oh, she's in an old part of the cemetery. past my shed, there was a maple tree. So she has shade in the summer. Aw. He only mentions one shed. So then Dr. Guthrie says to Frank, he's like, well, we can't stop now. Liz's life may depend on it. So Frank's cool with that. He's just like, I'm with you. Like they've gone this far. Like what's two grave robbing charges versus one? So there's the caretaker. He says, you're going to the Radcliffe's grave, aren't you? Be careful. Like the dead don't like being disturbed. Like he knows he can't stop them. So Dr. Guthrie's like, well, we're going to go there, but we promise we're going to come back and, put all this away. So but don't freak out at us. So those three fellas take off. So now we're in a new location. It is just a cemetery, but it's got these high stone walls, like taller than the fellas. Yeah, off to one side, there's this metal door, metal grate. I don't even know if it can open, but there it is. Trees, tombstones, nighttime. One of them has a flashlight. It's very spooky. Those skinny trees, but Joe's got the flashlight. He's looking around, and there it is. That's the grave. Frank looks at Guthrie. He's like, you want to open her grave, don't you? But they don't have any tools. They don't have any shovels, nothing. So Guthrie mentions that shed that they passed, and Joe's like, oh, I'll be right back. So he's going to go grab the tools. Like, what were you going to do? Dig it out with your hands? I don't know. So while Joe's gone, Frank says, like, you expect to find nothing in that grave. And that's his buddy. He knows what he's thinking. So now we're back at the caretaker's house. He's by himself. And he does talk to himself. So he's like, man, I wish they hadn't left me here. What do I know about her? Died by fire, in bed at night. And there was something strange. I'm trying to remember it. So he's got one of his books that he, pulls out. He starts going through it, leaping through the pages. When something's on the very edge of your memory, so he's doing that to jog his memory. Oh, Brian, what's up? Glad you made it. He says, howdy. Just switched over from Jeff H. talking about shapeshifters. Ooh, that's creepy. I wonder if that happens on this show. Possibly. Not intentionally, but yeah. That's ahead of us. So now we're back at the cemetery, and it's Joe and Frank are digging, and Guthrie is just standing there, shining the flashlight down, watching them do all the work. Like, this was your idea, man, but they don't say that. And as they go to start digging, Joe gets spooked. He's like, wait, did you hear something? Like, no. So just get on with it. Joe is so creeped out. I mean, anybody would be, but... Oh, and T says, I'm a fuck up. I can't find your email, but I wrote it on. Oh, no, that's okay. It's really easy. If I don't capitalize. Yeah. Name at emailaddress.com. Yeah, that's me. Oh, since I brought that up, I kind of, I mean, like, yeah, you can post an email for business inquiries. I don't think I'm quite big enough for that. Um, just with what's been going on. Also, make sure you are subscribed just on the off chance that I have to set the chat room to subscribers only. I don't have it that way now. It's completely public, and I did have to block some accounts that are trying to get another channel in trouble. I don't want that trouble here. But just on the off chance I have to switch it to subscriber only, make sure you are subscribed. That helps out the channel. We'll get to 500 subs eventually. So Joe's in the cemetery, spooked out. Now we're back with the caretaker. And he's got his book open. He's reading. It's like, that's what I remember. The boy. Looks up. He's like, who's there? I mean, there's this shadowy section off there. We can't see anything. But then it lights up. And who's standing there in their black cape? Laura Collins. And, I didn't hear you come in. She's like, oh, well, I'm just looking for Dr. Guthrie. Caretaker, oh, well, there were 3 guys here, but only one told me his name. Gardner? Laura says Garner. Caretaker's like, yeah, there was him and a young man and an older one with him. Are they your friends? Laura, yeah, but I don't know why they're here. And that's when she looks over and notices that coffin sitting there open. Caretaker notices her seeing that. He says, I told them to let her rest. Laura Murdock Stockbridge. But she was gone. They opened it to help the living, they said. I'm only. He doesn't care why they opened it. He doesn't care about the living. He's only concerned with the dead. And now they've gone to Laura Murdock Radcliffe's grave. Laura asks, are they coming back? Oh, wait. You said you found something. May I see it? So the caretaker, hands her big ass book. She's never seen this before, so she's looking at it. Oh, Brian's asking, how's jolly old England to Patrick? So now we're over in the cemetery, and the fellas have got the casket all dug out, and it's sitting up there. They've dug it out, got it out, and it's just sitting up there on the ground. So, grave robbing, drink. That's twice now. This is a casket, not a coffin. A casket has like the lid's attached. The coffin has, it's completely separate. And a casket's more like a rectangle versus a coffin. That's where it's got like the flat top, and then it comes out like this and kind of goes in like that, and has the more of the shape that you're stereotypically used to seeing. Not like nowadays when people get buried, they're in caskets. You go back in time, they were coffins. Yeah, there's a difference. Yes, I looked it up. But they get it open, and it opens in such a way that, like, we can't see inside, but the characters can, and they shine the flashlight in, they're all looking inside. And they can tell when they popped it open, it's never been opened before. That's what Joe says. And there's Guthrie, he did not help out at all. He's just shining the flashlight. He's not dirty or nothing. He didn't shovel one scoop of dirt. Again, it was his idea, but okay. Maybe he's got a bad back. I don't know. It's your idea. I don't think Frank minds helping out, and I think Joe's too scared to say anything, so they just want to get it done and get it over with and go home. Anti-marriage is a modern-day coffin, lol. Some people, man, oh. You are not the people from your internet posts. Or person, anyway. Anyway, we're back with the caretaker, and Laura, she's looking in this book. Again, this is new to her, so she's really interested in reading what he found. Well, the caretaker tells her that they were asking about the Murdocks and the Stockbridges and the Radcliffes. They're curious about two ladies with the same maiden name dying in fire, but I don't want to think about it. Laura says, I'm not afraid of fire. There's wild, indescribable beauty in it. Fire is just her favorite subject, so once you mention it, she's on. Oh, Patrick's saying it's not so jolly at this time, but I think we should be better when we get rid of the of Starmer, our Prime Minister. Brian says, better get you some potchki before they're gone. I got my last box till next year. I was just looking at the app. It's something that they sell before Lent, so that's why it's only available for like 3 weeks in January, and it's out of stock. So it just, I mean, like, yeah, they make donuts and all that. I knew it. It's like the same thing with eggnog. They sell it for a month, and then you're just screwed out of it for the rest of the year. Just what I had, I ate very slowly. Oh, I miss that stuff. I know it's bad for you, but you gotta have a treat sometimes. Oh wait, maybe they didn't have the casket open. Yeah, they got it out on the ground. They could tell it had been sealed up, had not been opened before. Now they do have it opened up, but Joe's looking inside there. He's like, empty. Like it's always been empty. We knew what was gonna happen. It's like that. There's no way you get two empty places where a dead body should be, and they're not gonna go for the third. Come on, rule of threes. We knew what was gonna happen. Oh, there's a body in this one. Oh, well, let's put it back. Oh, 3 missing bodies. So we're back with the caretaker, and Laura is just going on about fire. Again, it's her favorite subject. And she's just talking about the power in fire and the magnificent colors of the reds and oranges and blues, and you can see visions in the fire, and yeah. Wonder how her eyesight is, but anyway. The caretaker just, while Laura's off in the corner, she's, going off about how great fire is. The caretaker just gets creeped out. He feels strange. But he looks up to where Laura was. She's just gone. So that's weird. So we're back at the cemetery, fresh dirt on top of where they were digging. So they, put it back. They didn't just leave it hanging out there. Good for them. So the casket's reburied. Frank is saying that there's 3 missing bodies. The one in Phoenix, the the Stockbridge lady, and the Radcliffe lady. They must be connected. And they just want to go home. They're done. But Dr. Guthrie reminds them, like, we got to go back and put the Stockbridge, back in the wall. They're like, oh, right, yeah, well, let's hurry up and do that. Oh, I can't wait for this night to be over. Okay. So we're back with the caretaker. The fellas come back in. And the caretaker's just kind of surprised to see that they're back. Like, what are you doing coming back in here? You said you were going to leave and go find that other grave. You were just here a moment ago. Guthrie says, we've been gone for 2 hours. Caretaker says, I'm tired. I'm done with this. Just do what you got to do and get out. So Frank looks over at the table. He sees that big book that the caretaker was looking at that he showed to Laura. He gets closer. He looks down at it. It's like, hey, look at this. This is a copy of the newspaper. And they actually show that this is the first time we get a real date. The camera gets close enough, and we can see that there's a date, old-fashioned type of newspaper, not a lot of pictures. But it's got a date. It says October 26, 1867. That's not today's date. That's just the date on the newspaper. But it all just looks like, how newspaper was back in the day, the really thin strips of information. That's how it looks, but there's a heading about like somebody dying in a fire, but it's like a circle of ink that's just not there. It's just faded, just this almost perfect circle. You couldn't read it if you wanted to, and that's right where the article is about Laura Radcliffe's death. So Guthrie says, well, it must have faded from firelight exposure. And then we see the cemetery for the credits. Okay, so on top of being a spookologist, he knows everything about the way ink can fade on old paper. Oh, okay, I'll buy it. Just because he's an expert in one thing doesn't mean he can't know about other stuff. All right. O'Brien's saying that the Prime Minister over in England sucks. Patrick says he's a wanker. And Brian says, beware, I hear they're going to replace him with a worse Hindu migrant. Migrant-loving woman. Oh, yeah, that's what they do. And he says the next movie is Death to Smoochie, a great Robin Williams movie. Check it out for humor. I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it. I'm a big Robin Williams fan. Brian says maybe y'all can get Nigel in and get a bit of relief. That's an English name right there. Alright, episode 81 aired on March 6, 1967. Still day 40, it's nighttime, and we are at the living room. And it's Carolyn and Vicky are in there. Carolyn is saying that Roger decided to go to Boston to visit Liz. And Mrs. Johnson's out of the house. She's visiting her sister. And Carolyn doesn't want to be alone in Collinwood. So Vicky tries to tell her, well, I'm here and David's here. And Carolyn just kind of cuts her off. It's like, you and David don't count. Wow. I don't think she means it that harshly. She's just frustrated, but okay. Carolyn's like, why haven't they called? Maybe it's because they don't have cell phones and there's not a payphone at the cemetery, Carolyn. But Victoria says, well, maybe nothing's happened. But that's when they hear a car pull up, like, somebody's at the door. Kind of the only people in the house. This is sort of creepy. There's a knocking on the door, and Victoria and Carolyn both go up to the door. Like they don't want to open it, but they have to, and they're kind of creeped out. But whoever is out there, they knock a few times. And then through the door, it's Dr. Guthrie. So they're like, oh, good. Not just some rando. Patrick said just bought 144 toilet rolls for $35, so at least my toilet needs are sorted. Yeah, that's a good price. If it's the good stuff, not if it's the super. I don't understand one ply because then you just have to use twice as much. Make it 2-ply. How's that saving money? That's just public restroom toilet paper. So they let the fellas in. Dr. Guthrie's saying if we were about to give up. But Joe says that, yeah, then Josette opened the coffin. Guthrie lets them know that Joe smelt jasmine. And both coffins were empty. So Joe shows them that news article. I'm just realizing this just now. He would have had to tear that page out of that man's book. Bruh. But he's got, or did he bring the book with him? Maybe he brought the book with him. Okay, yeah, that's what. Like, he can't just go vandalizing this dude's books. What the hell? But he shows it to them. Like, here's this article with the circle right in the middle. And you can't read it. It's just all faded. But that being the case, Joe decided in the morning he's going to go to the library and research it. The library's got to have a copy of the newspaper. I don't know if you ever went to the library back when I did this in the 90s, that they had it all on like on microfilm or something like that, and you put it in this machine and it projects it big and you can print stuff out if you need. So I don't know if that's how they did it back then, but that's how it was in the 90s. So yeah, libraries have copies of newspapers if you didn't know. But Carolyn asks, what do 2 empty graves have to do with Liz's illness? Dr. Guthrie says we may have to have another seance, but keep David away from Laura, and he mustn't go away with her. But no matter what. So up in David's room, Carolyn walks in. We can hear the grandfather clock downstairs chiming the half hour. Carolyn's in this like flower print sleeveless dress, but then it's got these sheer sleeves over it that, come down to the wrist, and like the whole rest of it goes down to the floor. And it's connected up at the collar, but like you got that sheer stuff down to the floor, and then like a dress underneath that's, not sheer. This is TV in the 60s. You can't dress that way. It looks cute. I wonder if we're going to see that in color. But David's asleep, and Carolyn goes to tuck him in, and that wakes him up. Yeah, and T, yeah, thanks for the email. Email. Oh, okay, yeah, I came through. Awesome. Thank you. It worked. But David wakes up, and right away he's like, why are you in my room? I'm not allowed in your room. Like, you know how much screaming would go on if I was caught in your room? Like, what are you doing in here? He's like, you called me a monster. Carolyn says, don't you think people can change? David says, you mean you? It's like, you haven't grown up. You like to think you are. Carolyn's not there to pick a fight. She says, well, maybe you're right. David doesn't understand. He doesn't, you just woke him up. He doesn't understand what you're on about. Why are you talking to me like this? Just a odd conversation. Like don't wake me up and start being vague with me. You're just gonna piss me off. You woke me up. What the hell do you want? But it just it's over. It's the next day. It's day 41. We can see the I guess it's Main Street of Collinsport. There's cars, they have power lines, and it looks like a regular normal town, just with 60s style cars, and it's black and white. They got something in the middle of it. It must be an intersection, and it's sort of like this multi-sided cone shaped thing. I don't know. Is it just so cars don't drive into oncoming traffic? It's not like there's somebody like pointing out which way to drive, like stop and go with the whistle, like cop thing. But it's just there in the middle of the road. I don't know enough about old towns to know what that is, but they're like that's there. But it just looks like a normal town. It doesn't look spooky or anything. Okay, new location. We're at the public library. This is they just repurposed the cottage because you still got that brick wall back there, but instead of the front door being where we're used to it's just like shelves with a lot of big books. There's this big desk with some other big books on it where Joe's working at. So it does look like a library, but I know they just repurposed the cottage set. But he's going through these big, it's as if it's like the books have to be big because they're honestly just copies of newspaper pages, so they're quite large. But he pulls one out. He's looking at the corners of the pages, trying to find the right one. Opens it up, flips to it, and we get to see it's the same article that they saw last night, but it doesn't have that ink missing right in the center. It's just a regular copy. Brian, did David ever get to go fishing? So far no. But hold on to that because I was still thinking about that. Like Willie seems like he likes to fish. I don't think he's ever like Roger's gonna take him fishing. I'm sure he's always wanted to, but his dad's not gonna take him, so he's still looking forward to it. I'm kind of looking forward to it for him too. But we found a good copy of the article. Good. So now we're in Collinwood. We're in the living room, and Victoria's reading what he wrote, and it's good. But David's homework was to write about a story about a real person, and instead he wrote about if he had a fictional older sister. You know what? He don't get mad at him for using extra imagination, Vicky. Come on, you don't got to be that strict with him. I would have been like, you know what? That's very creative. You made up an entire person out of your head and wrote a backstory about them. That is so awesome. You could be a screenwriter. Wow. Right, say that. That's a hell of a deal. I went to go to apologies for lurking while driving city streets. Oh no, safety first. You drive safely first. Absolutely. I have listened to my own show in the car once before. Not a full show, but just it's weird to have my voice that close to me in a car and not be singing. But David, he's more on about the fact that he created this character. He says, if I had an older sister, would she love me? Victoria's like, well, yeah. David asks, would I love her? Victoria, yes, it's a waste not to love someone. Or has a it's a waste not to love the people who love you. That's a fact. David is always so worried about whether or not people love him, but he has zero concerns about the way he treats other people. Like he can't equate um, the fact that he has to be nice to people to get them to love and respect him. Like they just should do it, and if they don't, he just hates them. It's I don't know why there's that disconnect. I don't know if all little kids are like that or if it's just him, but we never hear him talking about, I want to do something nice for this person. I want to get him a present. I want to take him here. It's just, oh no, Nt, you're good. He says, please don't block me for my comment, but I do believe that all women just might be demons. Not saying they are, just maybe, fellas. Let me know if I'm wrong. I could be, but I could be right. I do happen to notice that, I'm sorry, this is a thing, but like so many women will like say, just get knocked up and just tell the guy that they're with, oh, it's yours, even though it's not, and you're just building your whole life on a lie. NPCs, a real person would not do that. It's sad, it's disgusting. You want to build an entire life, and your security is more important than being honest to your husband and your child. You're just that's pure fucking evil. I don't care. It's, oh, if I didn't, I'd be homeless. Well, maybe your evil bitch ass deserves to be homeless rather than lying to two people who are wasting their love on you. You're building your entire life on a lie. That is so fucked up. And T no souls, yes, I do agree with that. I mean, like guys do evil stuff too. I'm not just saying all one sex is one way and all another sex is another way. But that's you're. It's not just you're lying to your husband or your boyfriend or whatever. You're creating a new life based on a lie. So like everything you do, your entire life, it is it's insincere. It's just, oh, that's just pure fucking evil. And I know folks that that's happened to, and I see why they don't trust women, or like the type of woman you're always getting with the guy who's abusing them either physically or financially or emotionally. It's like, well, maybe stop dating losers. I'm not trying to blame the victim, but I'm saying men do bad stuff too. That's just, it's bad enough if you have your real parents who are together and they treat you like shit, but it's entirely another thing if you are, I mean, it's okay to raise family you're not related to, but it's not okay to lie to people and say, "Oh, you're related." Because what if you need a kidney? What if you need a blood transfusion, or the like, and suddenly, wait, why do you have AB blood and this person has O blood, or however that goes, and just how come how come the mom and dad have dark hair, but suddenly the mom has a ginger kid, and like how does that happen? Oh, Patrick found the double thick stuff. Brian says, neither men or women are demons, however, both can do wicked things. I mean, like, men and women can be NPCs and do bad things. Um, and, like, yes, men can create life, but they don't have to. But they really just have to be there once. 9 months ago. They're not, carrying it to term, thinking, oh man, the lies I'm going to tell to this thing, and the lies I'm going to tell to my husband/boyfriend, and that's just pure. There's no love there at all. Like it's worse to pretend to love somebody and have it be a lie rather than just not love them at all. That just fucks people up. And in trust issues and all that stuff. And to be fair, that is true. Both do. But let's observe the divorce record game. Whenever I hear about equality, yeah, they do tend to favor the woman too much. Like, oh, the woman gets all the custody, and the husband can only see the kid on the weekends. Like, well, that's fucked up. What if the dad's a better parent? What if they get along better? You're still. Oh, it's so bad. That's not cool. Any NT the Maury show, yeah, it's people want to believe women all the time, but like women can be just as bad as men. Nobody's completely innocent in a it takes two to tango. And then it's really bad when you're using the kid to fight over each other. That just fucks the kids up too. And uh, seen that or seen people who've had to go through that, and it's just they're just too busy being selfish to care about, like, hey, we created a life here that we're responsible for. It just does not even enter into their thought because they're evil. I bitched up Satan. What's up? I just got here. Hey, Nikki, what's up? Smash that like button right now. We're just doing a little bit of grave robbing and putting them back. They're being, they're opening graves, but they're cleaning up after themselves, so it don't litter. But the phone rings, and Joe's just like, hey, I've got something to show Dr. Guthrie, and I'm on my way over right now. He won't say what, but he's on his way over. So, okay. So David's sitting over there by the fireplace, and he's just kind of absently just staring at the flames. But then we see, like when they superimpose like another image, it's David's face above the flames. So he sees that, and he screams. He jumps up. He runs into the foyer. And right then, Dr. Guthrie is there, so he grabs David. Just, hold still, kid. What's wrong? David said, I saw myself in the fire. I want my mother. And he won't go back in the living room for nothing. He's scared as hell. But later on, we're in the living room. Joe has a copy of that article. It's like it's just a sheet of paper. He just he doesn't say photocopy, but he Xeroxed it. I don't know if there was Xerox back then. It's just a copy of that. Victoria comes downstairs, and she asks Dr. Guthrie if he'll go up and talk to David because David just will not calm down. And she explains to Joe what happened, why David freaked out. But Joe says it's a vision of the past. It's like the creepiest thing he's ever said. But Dr. Guthrie says that the article says that Laura Murdock Radcliffe died in a fire along with her son, David. And he died in his mother's arms. And we see the library for the credits. Ooh, that's creepy. And see, we all thought that was only a show, like for the governor of Minnesota, who had a degenerate show as well as It's Wild. I don't know who the governor is of any place. Patrick, 63, nearly 64, single. Think I'm a miserable bastard. Quite enjoy it. Yeah. Oh, just an old bachelor. Oh, what's up, John Rogers? Glad you made it. What's up? Yeah, we didn't really know this before. I mean, like the caretaker kind of mentioned there was a boy, but this is the first time we're getting confirmation that when Laura Murdock Radcliffe died, she had her son David in her arms. So that's that's wow. That's an extra bit of creepy. Okay, we didn't know there were two people. What the hell? That's a kid, man. And I'll be 38 this year and have not dated since 2020. I salute you, Patrick. Take care of yourself. It's important. Yeah, yeah. Make sure they're based. Maybe go to the gun range on a date. I don't know. So now, episode 182 aired on March 7, 1967. It is day 42, so the next day. And it's daytime. We're in the living room, so I guess David's over his, fear of, yesterday. They calmed him down, but he's saying that he likes it at Collinwood ever since Victoria came. But he's just about decided to go with his mother. And he thinks seeing himself in the fire yesterday was a warning for him to leave Collinwood with his mother because they're in danger. And just then, Dr. Guthrie comes in and he's like, well, you don't have to decide right now. David says, well, I'll ask my father, and he'll say yes. We leaves the room. So Dr. Guthrie is saying this to Victoria that he's going to give Roger the information about all these Laura Murdocks. Victoria's like, no, he'll tell Laura. Guthrie says I'll have to persuade him not to. Victoria tells him, well, you'll have to tell Burke because he's the one that also encourages David to see his mother. So it's later on. Roger has come back from Boston. And he's saying that Liz hardly moves. And she has to be fed. She doesn't recognize anyone. But he doesn't feel like talking. Dr. Guthrie's there. He doesn't like that guy anyways. Just got bad news about his sister. He doesn't want to talk. But Guthrie says, do you want David to die? We have evidence. Laura wants to destroy him. Do you know that cemetery that's about 5 miles out on the North Road? Well, Laura's family is buried out there. And Victoria was led there by Josette. Roger does not care. He's over it. Guthrie says that Laura wants to burn David alive. So this is interesting the way they edit these together, because now we're in Burke's room and Burke is speaking with Victoria, and it's as if Victoria is giving Burke the same information at the same time as Dr. Guthrie is telling Roger about this stuff. So it's really interesting. They haven't done a scene like this yet. But we go from Guthrie saying that Laura wants to burn David alive to Burke saying, oh, over in his rooms, burn David alive? Victoria says that Laura is dangerous to all of us, and I came here to ask you for help for David. Burke says he'll do what he can. Kind of This is a bit extreme. So he likes Victoria, but he doesn't 100% believe her. So a commercial come back, and Burke is saying it's like, oh, okay, so both of the graves were empty, and I mean that Phoenix lady, that body out in Phoenix, she wasn't even related. So that's a lot of coincidences. So Victoria tells him that they found this article about Laura Murdock Radcliffe, and she died in a fire with her son. And his name was David. So we're over in the living room now, and Roger is saying that, well, all of that is disturbing, but it's not convincing. David is just beginning to trust his mother, and his future depends on their relationship. So Guthrie's like, I need time. Just please read this newspaper and think about it. So now we're back over in Burke's room, and he's saying, well, I'll think about it. If anyone else told me this, I wouldn't have believed them. Victoria says, so you won't encourage David to see his mother anymore? Burke says, I guess. I don't know how I'm going to act the next time I see Laura. Victoria tells him, just do it for David. I trust you. Burke says, I appreciate that. And Victoria leaves. Oh, it's twice I've dropped my pen. Oh, I bet you up Satan still listening, learning about that show and getting in a hot cedar bath. Ooh, is the bathtub made out of wood? My first thought was I guess it'd be warm apple cider with the cinnamon stick in it, but it's a bathtub. Don't sit in it, drink it. All that tea. So now we're back in the living room. It's a little bit later on. That's the third time I've dropped my pen. Damn, I'm good at this. What are the odds? Gravity. But Roger's asking David well, have you been good while I was away? David, yeah. Well, I know you don't like me to talk about what I see, but yesterday I saw myself in the fireplace, and he points at it. I think I want to go away with my mother. Roger says, you love your mother? And you trust her? David is, yeah, why shouldn't I? You're not going to change your mind, are you? Roger says, we'll see. So David leaves the room. Roger goes over to the wet bar to pour himself a drink. And when he's got his drink, he sort of looks over and notices that giant book that they borrowed from the caretaker that had that burnt out, not burnt out, but faded out section. It was closed, but there it is, opening up on its own. So Roger's got his drink, and he's freaked out, as anybody would be. But what it is, it opens up. It's got that photocopied page sitting in there, in the same spot. So he's got the article that he can read. So he, picks up that paper, look at it, and Then he starts screaming for Victoria. So she runs into the room like, what? And Roger's holding that paper. And he's totally creeped out. He says, Dr. Guthrie didn't tell me the son who burned alive. The article says that he didn't want to be saved. Ooh, that gave myself chills. Oh my god, that's so creepy. Roger he doesn't really doesn't get under his skin that bad, but he's legitimately completely freaked out by this. And then for the credits, we can see there's a desk there with the book, and we can see the wet bar in the background. Well, I was wondering, what do they use for the fake alcohol? Because you can't let the actors sit there and get drunk every take. So is it weak tea? Is it brown water? I wondered about this with Game of Thrones too. Like, what is Cersei drinking? Is it Kool-Aid? What do they use for fake alcohol on the set? Bruce Campbell was not drinking mojitos every take on Burn Notice. What is it? Speaking of drinks. Speaking of drinks, I got brandy right here. I didn't know. You gotta look out for brandy. It's kind of sweet. You don't realize the alcohol content. This is good. It's sweet. And suddenly you're tipsy as hell. Episode 183 aired on March 8, 1967. This is a different sort of shot of the exterior of Collinwood. NT, who says it has to be fake? They every few minutes. I'm sure, like, cost wise, it's, costs more to get your actors sloshed than to just make them drink, weak tea or just let's say tinted water, but has bad connotations. Yeah, I don't know what they would have used for it. Like, I know they're smoking real cigarettes on the set. Like, nowadays they've got fake cigarettes for people to smoke in movies, but back then it's just nicotine everywhere. I bet you up Satan I drink coffee brandy. Yeah, like Irish up that coffee. Like, put some Baileys in your coffee. Kind of defeats the purpose, but it tastes good. I wanted to be cast as Roger. That actor gets to get drunk every single show. I didn't know. He's got to drive himself home, man. But anyway, we're on day 43. It's morning. We're in the Collinwood foyer. So Mrs. Johnson comes from the kitchen and she's holding David's coat. And she walks into that little area, like it's about like you take a step and you're out of it. It's like the door to Collinwood, and then you get like the door to the entrance to the foyer. But you got this little area where you could theoretically hang up your coat, and she does. We can see the hooks. We can finally see the hooks. So they're up there, and she takes the coat and hangs it up. We can see the hooks. There's finally hooking at Collinwood. It's not just setting your coat on a table for it to possibly fall off. There's actual hooks there. Why were they not there before? Did they just get the budget for hooks 183 episodes in? But there they are. Finally, it's such a nice house. Why can't you just hang up your coat? You gotta drape it on. I know it's a little thing I'm like nitpicking about, but my God, just hang up your. I always hang up everything. I hate folding clothes. We finally get to see the hooks. They exist. You don't have to headcanon them. Actual hooks at Collinwood. And Tia, it's highly weird. They don't care about cost or freak offs that happen after they say cut. Yeah, as long as everybody gets through the scene, they don't care about anything afterwards. Get you addicted and turn you into a junkie to get the shot, and that's all they need. The only thing that matters is what the camera sees. Nobody cares about what's going on behind this, what's going on behind the camera. Nothing else matters, for better or for worse. If the camera can't see it, it doesn't matter. I could be wearing clown shoes down here that are 2 feet long, but camera can't see it, it doesn't matter. No, I'm barefoot, so I'm a little bit cold. But right as Mrs. Johnson is by the door, it comes bursting open. Like it's not a gust of wind. It's like somebody's just opening up the doors. But Mrs. Johnson catches them. It's Laura coming in, so like the doors open up, so she kind of catches them so they can't open all the way. And Laura she's there to see David, but Mrs. Johnson tells her, well, David's in Collinsport with Victoria. They went shoe shopping. Laura says, I was supposed to do that. Well, just you tell David when he gets back to come to the cottage. Mrs. Johnson can't. David can't leave Collinwood without Victoria or Carolyn. And those are Roger's orders. Laura says, where is he? And she pushes past her, starts hollering for Roger. Mrs. Johnson, oh, he can't. He's up there with that Dr. Guthrie, but Roger comes out from the top of there's the second floor of the foyer. Comes out of that door. Roger's like, I'm busy, but Laura insists she needs to talk to him right now. And I'm an OCD, autistic freak, my way, so I get that. Put it up in a way it bothers me as well, but I'm weird like that. Like there's a place for everything and everything in its place. If you don't put things away, they're just gonna pile up, and then you won't know where anything is because it's not where it goes. Especially if you have a bad memory, you've got to put stuff back, or you're never gonna find it again. Brian says mine's on the back of the kitchen chair. It's like, put it where it goes. It's not gonna get wrinkled. You're gonna know where it is for next time. I think that goes back to when we have cats, because if you have cats and you have a coat, they want to lay on that coat. So if you don't want to get the cat hair off every time, then you got to hang it up. So Laura and Roger go into the living room, and Roger closes the doors. And Laura's like, what, WTF? Mrs. Johnson said that David can't leave without Victoria on your orders. Roger says that David's been seeing you too much, and he's fallen behind on his schoolwork. Laura says, that's a weak excuse. You wanted me to take him away a few days ago. Why the change? Roger says, I don't like what's happening. Or, well, what's been happening at Collinwood since you arrived. And you should leave for a little while without David. Laura says, because you blame me for what's happening here? You'll be in jail if I testify against you. And I'll use every weapon I have to get David. She takes off. She's getting pissed. That's another thing, too. If you don't have a whole lot of space, you really have to put things away, or they'll just feel like they're piling up even faster. So we're over at Burke's room. Laura's there. And here's Burke. What do you want? You only come here when you want something. Laura says that Roger wants me to leave without David. You've got to call your lawyers to help me. It's for our future. Burke says, do we have a future? You've changed. You're an entirely different person. It's like, I don't know you. And I won't help you because I don't trust you. Laura says, "Who turned you against me?" She's like, "Believe in me." Burke says, "I don't." So Laura turns away. It's like she did that one time in front of the fireplace. Now she's got to turn away and do her fake crying, sniffing routine. But there's Burke back there. That won't work anymore. You can't talk your way out of it. Laura takes the hint. She takes off. This is the first time we've ever seen Burke be really cold with her. I think it's starting to sink in for him. So now we're back in the living room, and Roger is saying to Dr. Guthrie that Laura threatened me if I won't let her have David. First time he's admitted it, he says, I'm afraid of her. She can be vindictive. She's made that same threat before, but she didn't do anything. And she said she's running out of time. I don't understand what's going on here. There's faces appearing and fire, and a book opening up on its own. Guthrie says, "Well, that's Josette warning you. And I'm glad you believe me now." Roger lets him know, "Well, I told Laura to get the fuck out, and I'll see what she does." So just then Mrs. Johnson comes in. She wants to see if Roger wants lunch. Roger's like, "No, I'm going out. I'm going to be at the office until after dinner time. And remember, I don't want Laura in Collinwood or near David." And he leaves. Pause for a second. That's okay. So Dr. Guthrie says to Mrs. Johnson, like, "I heard Laura was mad at you." Mrs. Johnson said, "Oh, if looks could kill, why can't David see his mother?" No one wants to explain anything. They just give orders. "Is it true Laura's leaving?" Guthrie says it's possible. Mrs. Johnson, "Good. Then I won't have to keep her house clean." Guthrie asks her if, have you noticed anything weird about Laura? Mrs. Johnson says, "No, she's neat as a pin. I don't gossip about people I work for." "Oh, Dandy, what's up? Glad you made it." Nice. Smash that like button if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel. After Mrs. Johnson says she doesn't gossip about people she works for, she says, like, "Well, there is one thing. She wants that fire in the cottage kept going 24/7. So Guthrie says that he's going to go pay Laura a visit. So now we are at the cottage. It's nighttime now. There's that folding screen I told you about. It's like one of those three-way collapsible. Like you can fold it flat or you can spread it out. It really does cover up everything up to the second mantle lamp up on the mantle there. So you can't see into that uh, other room. I think it's a bedroom. Good. It's nice to have privacy. But Dr. Guthrie's there, and Laura asks him, "When will you be leaving Collinsport?" Guthrie says, as soon as I can prove my theories. Laura says, you're the cause of all of my problems here. Guthrie tells her, I told Roger you want to destroy David. It's kind of hot in here. Let me put out this fire. So he goes to grab there's like the poker and the shovel and the whatever for a fireplace. He goes to touch that. And this Laura like, no, don't touch that. I don't like a cold room is all. Guthrie says, you get power from fire, don't you? Who are you really? Laura says, I'm a woman who wants her son. If you knew what's best for you, you'd leave me alone. Guthrie says, you're not Laura Murdock Collins. You're the undead. And for the credits, we get a shot where I guess I got to boost the camera up so we can see the second floor of the foyer there. I know, I'll be goddamned. You don't come into my house and tell me what to do with the temperature of the room. Otherworldly being or not, motherfucker, you don't live here. Hell no. Go. I'm so pissed off I can't talk. Go to somebody's house and start fiddling with the thermostat. Like, you don't pay the bills here, asshole. If it's too hot, there's the door. Bruh, but like we know why he did that, just to see what her reaction would be. Still, damn. NT Demon, right. O'Brien says, I liked that Budweiser commercial so much, got me a few tonight. He says, I'm not exactly sober here myself. Yeah, help yourself to the wet bar. Just because I don't drink doesn't mean you can't. I don't have anything against drinking. I just can't have a hangover for an entire day and get no work done. I'm a busy old Capricorn. I don't like the headache. I've never been an alcoholic or anything like that. I've never had a problem with alcohol. Right, hell to the nah. I know that's right. Like somebody's trying to like a backseat driver or something like that. Like, if you don't like the way I drive, you can walk. And I'm not slowing down. Turn the car so they gotta roll out. Anyway, episode 184 aired on March 9th, 1967. It's still day 43. It's nighttime. We're at the cottage. And it's just as if that, at the end of that conversation, we're just picking up with that. And Guthrie's saying that, oh, I wouldn't have said it if I didn't mean it. Laura says, and if I am? Guthrie says, if you are, this kind of communication's been impossible. A human talking to some kind of undead person. This is right up his alley as a spookologist. So he asks, why do you need David? Laura says, because he's my son, and I want him to live with me in a place that's been chosen many miles away. Guthrie does not like her answers. He's not getting anywhere with her. He says, are you good or evil? Why is Josette against you? He asks, have you been all of the Laura Murdocks through the centuries? And Laura's tired of these questions. Just get out of here. Guthrie tells her, if you won't stay away from David, I'll have to stop you. And I've got enough evidence to convince the others. Laura says, you'll be laughed out of town. You're powerless. So now we're at the front doors of Collinwood, just outside there. And it's Joe speaking with Dr. Guthrie. Joe's asking, he doesn't ask, he says, I hope you're not planning another trip to the cemetery. Guthrie says the time is running out. They need to cut Laura off from any allies. So he wants to hold another seance to talk to Josette since she seems to know everything about Laura. Or not everything, but she knows what Laura is. And he wants David to be there, and Victoria, and Sam Evans, since he's the one that did those paintings. So he wants Joe to convince Sam to come along. And he, LOL. So Joe says it might take a couple of drinks to convince Sam, and he doesn't think Sam's going to go along with it, but he takes off to go ask. The least you can do is ask. You can try. So over in the foyer, Guthrie says, well, David's there, and Guthrie's saying to him that Victoria is going to take you somewhere tonight, but it's a secret. So you finish your homework because you might be up late. And that's cool as hell to David. He always wants to stay up late and do things he's probably not supposed to, but right now he's off to go into the kitchen to steal a slice of cake. Dude, I would smash some chocolate cake right now. Or just any chocolate, but cake's been coming up lately. And all Guthries are always bad. Just, I don't know, this guy's into the... Like, he seems like a nice, alright guy, but he's into some spooky stuff that's he doesn't realize it's too much for him because he doesn't know what he doesn't know, and he doesn't realize that he can quite quickly have everything go over his head, and he might be drowning in something that he doesn't know how to swim out of. But he seems to know himself enough to know that he's not going to stop, and you can't stop the man once he wants to do something. But he's got the right idea, he just doesn't really know how to flesh it out, put it that way. But now we are over at the Evans cottage. Maggie is there. She's got this short sleeved turtleneck. It's it's a light colored top, and then a dark colored skirt, and she's cleaning Sam's paintbrushes. And Sam's hands are still peeling. They're just every time we see them, they're a little bit less bandaged up, but they're still basically kind of stereotypical mummy hands. He can hold a drink and probably dress himself, but he's probably not doing his best work right now. He really wants to get back into painting. He wants some stuff ready for when tourist season comes around. So, knock on the door, there's Joe, and, Maggie's happy to see him, and Telly lets her know he has to cancel their date again, and he wants to talk to Sam alone. So Sam's like, oh, you're not going to ask for my daughter's hand in marriage, are you? Joe says, no, not tonight. He tells him Dr. Guthrie wants Sam to come to a seance at the old house tonight to contact Josette. And as he's finishing his sentence, Maggie and Sam are both kind of laughing at him. But Joe's serious. He's like, well, he thinks that Josette used you to paint those pictures of Laura. Maggie does not want her father involved in this. Sam, he does want to help, but he doesn't want to go through with this. He wants to help, but you can tell he's kind of spooked out by it. Oh, NT, yeah, that's how they always appear. All big hospitals in my area are named Guthrie. All evil, I'm telling you. Yeah, you can't trust hospitals. And I think it's interesting how I started talking about Guthrie, and suddenly that name popped up in the news. It's not the first time something like that has happened to me, but just, out of all the names in the world, why are you using a name in the news that I'm talking about on a show from 59 years ago? Stops copies me. But at the cottage, maybe they watched the show, but at the cottage, we can see, like we're looking inside the window, Laura's looking out, and she just looks really anxious. We haven't seen her worry before, but she's looks concerned. So she sits down by the fireplace, and then it fades into a shot of the living room. And Dr. Guthrie's there, and he just looks uncomfortable. He takes off his jacket. You know, they're all wearing, like, suit and tie, so he takes that jacket off, or coat, whatever you want to call it. Like the room's getting too hot for him. So we're back at the Evans cottage, and Joe says that, well, the seance is important to Liz. And what Sam thought might be true. Sam says that Laura burnt my hands. Maggie's still against it. She does not want it to go. Doesn't want him to go. So Joe says, well, I'll pick you up later. So we're back in the living room, and Dr. Guthrie, he's just looking distressed, like like pulling at his shirt collar, just seems just very uncomfortable. He's just bad vibes. Auntie, right? All evil shit. Not today's Satan. Exactly. This is a Grace still plays Not Today's Satan shirt. He doesn't sell them anymore. I might have to make my own merch since it's not a copyrighted phrase. But yeah, this is it's a child's large, but it fits me like an extra small. I prefer small. It feels a bit tight, but that was the only way to get long sleeves. So one must always suffer for fashion at any size. Because the camera can't tell how I feel in it. It just cares how I look. So it's not that uncomfortable. I like it. Now we're over in the foyer. You knock at the door. David opens it. It's Joe. So, lets him in. Joe goes into the living room, and he tells Dr. Guthrie that Sam will be there. Guthrie's like, it's hot in here. And Joe mentions that he took they set some table, or a table and 4 chairs outside, and Joe put those in a station wagon that he borrowed from the jobs, and he's going to drive those over to the old house. So Guthrie like, what? Tables and chairs? And Joe's like, yeah. And he, takes off. Joe's going to go do that. So that's when he wanders over to the fireplace. And he just kind of like collapses down. Like almost completely falls on the floor, but he's down. He's in a bad way. But now we're in the foyer, and we can see it's a really good shot. You can see, like, the way up in the stairs. But on the stairs, Josette appears. And she kind of, floats down the stairs. She, points at the living room door. And, David sees this. He had come from the kitchen door, so he, sees where she's pointing. David goes in, and he finds Guthrie. He's just barely holding himself up. He's over there by the fireplace. He's looking really rough. And he says, you should make them. I would buy one at least. Not a small. Make them for adults as well. Yeah, it's all the X's and whatnot. I would. I'll have to. I'll definitely be. Have to like do some merch this year. I know not everybody wants a long sleeve shirt. That's just me. Yeah, let me try to get one more in here. So, episode 185 aired on March 10th, 1967. We're still in day 43. It's nighttime, and we're in the living room. They just reshot, Guthrie, he's feeling hot and all this stuff. Collapses down by the fireplace. David runs in, and, sees Guthrie in this state. Guthrie sees David. He's like, "Save me!" So David yells for Victoria. But he walks up to Dr. Guthrie, and he doesn't know what to do. He's a little kid. But Guthrie just kind of like grabs him and like kind of hangs on to him, like not to pull himself up, but just to get his arms around this kid. Like, okay, odd hug. Is this when David's voice starts to get annoying as fuck? At some point, like, David just starts speaking so loud it hits the microphone weird, and it's very harsh on the ears, but he's scared, so he's screaming for Victoria. And just we can see, like, Laura's face kind of superimposed on the shot. But it stops. She stops her attack on him. Probably because he was holding on to David, and that's, Guthrie starts to feel better. He's not all about to fall out. He's breathing kind of heavy, but he's like, "She almost got me. You saved me, David. You're the key." And just then Victoria finally gets in there. And Guthrie, he thanks David, and David's like, "I didn't do anything. I saw Josette, and she was pointing at the doors, and..." So they're like, "Well, you go, leave to go get ready for, where they're going to go tonight." He still doesn't know. So he's, okay, so David leaves. So Guthrie's telling Victoria that he threatened to expose Laura, and that just now he nearly fell out, but when he touched David, it stopped. So Victoria says that Josette's powers represent good. Guthrie thinks the seance will be successful, but he just needs to go back to the Collinsport Inn. He's got to grab his tape recorder and the rest of his notes. So he takes off. But then Victoria needs to tell Mrs. Johnson something before they leave. So she's out of the room, but just, that nobody's there, but that's when the doors open up. David's come down, and they're like, "Oh, there you are, David. I haven't seen you in days." David says, "They've been keeping me busy every minute. Something always comes up." So Laura says, "Well, let's go to the cottage right now." David says, "I can't. I'm going somewhere, but I don't know where." And it's Victoria and Dr. Guthrie are taking. And Dr. Guthrie said he was ill earlier, but I found him, and he said I saved him. But all I did was Josette led me to him. Laura's like, "Oh, well, tell you what, why don't you go with me now, and we'll phone later to say where you are." She's really trying to get this kid to leave with her. But that's right when Victoria comes in, and she's being very pleasant with her. She doesn't seem worried at all. Victoria says that, "Oh, David can't go anywhere right now. He's got to go someplace, and it's a surprise." And David says that he'll see his mother tomorrow. It'll just tomorrow night. It'll be perfect. So David walks out the door, and Victoria says to Laura that we'll know everything soon. And she leaves as well. So Laura's standing there. Mrs. Johnson comes out and just, are they gone? I tell you, I don't think much about taking out a child this late. They think I can't figure out that where they've taken that furniture. Laura says, where? Mrs. Johnson, to the old house for another seance. And Dr. Guthrie's gone to get his tape recorder. And he ought not to mess with powers that are greater than him. And Laura agrees with that. And she leaves. So now we see the exterior of the old house at night. They probably just reused footage from before. Yeah, Victoria's walking up. She's got a flashlight. David's with her. It's just this really high shot we see of them walking up. Just big white pillars. So now we're in the drawing room of the old house. And David's like, oh, the surprise is here. I'm glad it's here. This is just fun for him. But Victoria lets him know that there are two other people coming, Dr. Guthrie and Sam Evans, for a seance. David, oh boy, he's always wanted to be part of a seance, so this is just too awesome for him. So it's nice to see proper furniture in there that isn't covered in cobwebs. There's this round table there and, 4 chairs sitting across from each other. And there's some candles there in the middle. She lights them. And she says that Dr. Guthrie thinks Josette made Sam paint those pictures. And you may hear some things tonight that are unpleasant. That's fine by David. He doesn't care. So we see at the cottage, there's Laura. She is sitting by the fireplace, staring at the fire. And then we get a shot of a car. The car shots are, you can't see anything else going on. But it just, then we see an exterior shot. It's just Dr. Guthrie. He's just, driving through town at night. And in the drawing room, knock on the door. Sam Evans arrives. And David said, did Josette really make you paint that portrait? Sam says, I don't know. That's what I'm here to find out. So, what do we do? Victoria says, Dr. Guthrie will explain when he gets here. We see another shot of the car driving, and it's we just get this really close up of Laura's eyes. She's up to something. In the drawing room there, again, we're back there, but David is pointing out the picture of Josette above the mantel. So Sam walks up, he's taking a look at it. It's like, oh, this is in really good condition considering where it's been. There's no cracking. The artist must have used really good, it paints really good material on it. It's true, it's not cracked at all. As for it being, 200 years old, it only looks 50 years old. But we're in the car again, and it's Guthrie. He's I can't drive at night either, but it's like everybody's got their high beams on. He's trying to drive like this. He's like, man, everybody's got their high beams on. He's honking his horn at them. Like, it's blinding me like fire. Rude bastards, turn down your headlights. We're back in the drawing room, and David is just, impatient. There's nothing to do there to keep him entertained, and he knows Josette has to tell him something. Now we're back in the car. Guthrie he seems, he can't see. He's trying to stop. The brakes don't work. The car speeds up. Then we hear tires screeching into a tree. So we see Laura now at the cottage, and she just looks so pleased with herself. And then we get a shot of a wrecked car burning. The sucker is flipped over, flames. It must have been so fun to wreck that up for the shot, but yeah, that's that's really that's really messed up, man. And then we see the drawing room for the credits. Ugh. Yeah, so it's not winter time. It's not like it was icy on the roads. Uh right, nowadays high beams are crazy. Yeah, those are just like the regular running lights that are too bright. Those LED lights or whatever. That's terrible. They do that on purpose. Yeah. So it's not looking good for Dr. Guthrie there. So yeah, he's not in a good way. Laura's really pleased with herself. She knows too much about what they're doing, and it looks like she worked her magic in a bad way. So that's uh we'll see how that plays out next week when I'm live a week from today. Uh, so Laura had everybody turn against her. All she has is her powers or magic or evil, whatever you want to call it. And she used it. I mean, she warned him, but she's also the bad guy, so that's yeah, doesn't look good. You say so. So always drive safe. I've personally kind of had night blindness when I've been driving ever since about 2017. So I know what that's like, but I've never had my brakes. I've never had my car speed up and my brakes not work. So that's scary as hell. NT, it's a part of my old man rocker sitting in the on the porch yelling at the kids. What those saying? Yeah, back in my day. Yeah, we get to use the back in my day thing. I think folks in our generation aged faster. Yeah, so that's not looking good. Smash the like button before you take off. Yeah, I do want to do some Not Today Satan merch. The only difference is I'd put a comma after the today to make it grammatically correct. Nothing against this. Oh, I do have super chats. I've got Venmo and Buy Me a Coffee. 100% of that goes to myself. You're not paying Google 30%. You're not supporting AI content. I'm not spending it on hookers and blow. Your money stays in the United States. And um something else that I say. All that stuff. And Tia, I'm not letting that go. I'll be using it. But yeah, that goes to supporting the channel so I can keep my weight above 92 pounds. I was worried about catching a cold. Like, I'm going to have to be moving stuff and it's going to be 5 degrees Celsius. Ugh. It'll be alright. John Rogers, even the low beams are blinding now. Yeah, whoever decided to put LED lights in all of the cars needs to have their eyeballs gouged out with a spoon. By me. They're doing that on purpose to cause more accidents. That's not cool. But yeah, you guys are totally cool for coming here and hanging out for a couple of hours. So don't forget your pants. You're going to need those all next week at another show. Again, violating YouTube and Google policies doesn't help anybody. So if you see that going on, let the channel owner know. If you see it happen again, take a screenshot, report it. That is not cool for anybody. That just brings down the entire platform if that kind of bad behavior is allowed to continue. That's America's in a bad place because enough people are not standing up fast enough. We don't want that to happen on YouTube. So make sure if you see that kind of thing, smash that report button, smash the like button on the way out. That helps out. Make sure you are subscribed again, just in case I have to turn on subscriber only chat for the chat room. But you guys are awesome. I love seeing you guys every week. You guys let me do something I've always wanted to do. I get to talk about my favorite show and share it with you guys. And stay out of the hospital, stay based, stay sexy, get something to eat, get some good sleep. Uh, just everybody take it easy, be cool to each other. Don't support any bad content. The important thing is where you spend your time. Spend your time with things that are important, people you love, things you like to do. That's what matters the most. That matters more than keeping up with the social media or current events. You're not going to get to the end of your life and wish you watched more news. You're going to want to have spent more time with people and things you care about. So spend your time with those folks. I'm glad you spend this time with me. You guys let me have fun in front of the camera and forget about everything else for a couple of hours. So, again, thank you guys for that. You're awesome. And I will see you next week. We'll keep going along with this. And then 2 weeks from now, it might be a balcony chat, it might be a review. It just sort of depends how things are going with the move. But yeah, I look forward to that. I always want to make sure I stay on top of the Saturday shows so we can make sure to catch up with each other. Oh, good one to go to. Got home, back home safe and sound. Excellent. That's the most important thing. Safety first on the road. Obey the rules of the road. Those laws are there to keep everybody safe. So yeah, I love you guys again. You guys are the best. So thank you for being here. And if you do end up grave robbing, you shouldn't, but if you are going to do that, put everything back where you found it. You don't have to be sloppy about it. Please don't grave rob. But yeah, I love you guys again. Thank you so much. If you have any merch ideas, things like that, you can put those in the comments. I love seeing you guys again. Take it easy. Brian says happy Saturday, Nikki. John Rogers says have a good night, everyone. Yeah, you guys too. I will see you in a chat room. Until next time.